You all may be seated. You know we had a Buc-ee's fan on the panel. I am a big Buc-ee's fan. I trust you all had a good night's rest and are ready to proceed. Mr. Hermes.
Your Honor, I call Karla Rivera.
Please raise your right hand again. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please make yourself comfortable.
Good morning, Ms. Rivera. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Would you go ahead and state your full name and spell your name for the court's report, please?
It's Karla Denise Rivera, maiden name Berumen. It's Karla. Denise, Denise. Rivera, Rivera. Berumen is Berumen.
Wow, that's a lot of testimony just to get it done. All right. You ready to go forward now?
Yes.
Good. What do you do for a living?
I am a 911 call taker for the Dallas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For the Dallas Police.
How long have you done that?
A year and a half. It's about to be 2 in December.
Okay. You like it?
Yes.
I imagine it's very exciting work.
Yes. Every day is different.
Okay. Do you work days, evenings, afternoons?
I work third watch, which is 3 to 11, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And would you give the ladies and gentlemen of the jury an idea of what a 911 operator does in a big city like Dallas?
We handle all emergency calls. Pretty much that's not health related. Anything that like that goes to DFR. We get any type of 911 emergency calls. We pretty much answer the calls. We gather all information that as much possible as we can, so we can give it to dispatcher. Dispatcher then assigns officers and dispatches the call.
So if I need police help or emergency services help, you're the person who may answer me on the other line.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question just as a matter of logistics. Do you talk with a lot of police officers throughout the day over the radio as well?
No.
Okay, is that another branch?
That's dispatch.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, may I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Rivera, I'm going to ask you first if you recognize State's Exhibit Number 4. This is going to be a business records affidavit. Is that signed by you?
Yes.
All right, and were you authenticating this CD, which is the 911 call that was received on September the 6th, 2018?
Yes.
Okay, and you had an opportunity to hear this call before, is that right?
Yes.
And is that call, when someone calls 911 and you're put onto the phone with the person making the call, is that entire call recorded?
Yes.
When you heard this, did you recognize your voice on it?
Yes.
And did the person who was calling in identify themselves as Amber Guyger?
Yes.
Did you make any additions, deletions, or any kind of edits to this recording whatsoever?
No.
Your Honor, I'm going to offer State's Exhibit Number 4. It's been under business records affidavit since May 7th of 2019. And I believe it's also the product of a stipulation.
It's okay.
And Ms. Rivera, while I'm up here, are you familiar with these records called the Incident Detail Report generated by the Dallas Police Department when 911 calls are dispatched?
Yes.
All right. And does it contain certain documented computer timestamps for various critical events?
Yes.
All right. And are these documents relied upon in your business? So say, for example, you were to get in trouble because you took so long to dispatch a call or an officer took so long to respond to a call. Are these the records that would be pulled to actually verify the times that actually occurred?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to offer State's Exhibit Number 5 for all purposes, also under business records affidavit since May 7, 2019.
I think it looks Jason.
Sure.
No objection.
Seconded.
Yellow sticky will be removed, Judge. Okay, let's start with State's Exhibit Number 5. On this particular occasion, when a telephone dials 911, obviously the telephone is activated before, especially if it's a cellular phone, before it actually is received by your police department, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. But when your police department received the 911 call that we're going to play for the jury in a moment, can you tell the jury what time that phone call came in?
21:59 with 10 seconds.
All right, so that's going to be that's military time. In regular time, that's 9:59:10.
Yes.
Okay? And did officers immediately get dispatched to that particular call?
It gets sent to dispatch, which we call face the call, That way, it starts the process of getting officers dispatched as well as EMS.
Okay? And so does this indicate that the first officers were dispatched at 2246?
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be about a minute and 36 seconds later.
Yes.
All right? And does this indicate that the first officers arrived on the scene of the Southside Flats at 22:01:18?
Yes.
That's going to be 10:01:18.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about a response time of about 2 minutes after the call, after the phone at DPD rings, until the first officer arrives. We're talking about 2 minutes.
Yes.
Your Honor, may I publish the 911 call at this time?
Yes.
And Your Honor, for demonstrative purposes, I'd like to offer State's Exhibit number 4A. It's going to be a transcript of the 911 call already in evidence. I'd like to hand one out to each of the jurors so they can follow along if they wish or not. May I hand these to the jurors, Your Honor?
Yes, please.
This is Carla. Where's your emergency?
Hi, this is Officer the officer. I need Ina, Ahmed number.
What's your
yes,
address? Do you need police as well or just EMS?
yes, I need both.
Okay, what's the address?
I'm at apartment number 1478. I'm in 1478.
And what's the address there?
It's 1210 South Lamar, 1478, yes.
What's going on?
I'm an off-duty officer. I thought it was in my apartment, and I shot a guy thinking it was my apartment. He shot someone? Yes, I thought it was my apartment. I was shocked. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Okay, and where are you at right now?
I'm in, what do you mean? I'm inside the apartment with him. Hey, come on.
What's your name?
I'm Amber Guyger. I need to get me, I'm in,
Okay, we have help on the way.
I know, but oh my dog. I thought it was my apartment.
Okay,
Hey, man.
hold on.
Fuck.
Okay, stay with me, okay?
I'm gonna need supervisor. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Oh my God, baby. I thought it was my apartment.
I understand. We have help on the way.
I thought it was my apartment.
Come on.
Hurry, please.
They're on their way.
I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. I could have sworn I was on the third floor.
Okay, I understand.
No. I thought it was my apartment. That was my apartment. That was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment.
And then what's the gate code there?
I don't know. I thought it was my apartment.
They're trying to get in there. We have an officer there. You don't know the gate code?
No. I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment.
Okay, and what floor are you in right now?
The fourth floor. Fourth. Hey, bud, they're coming to us. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, where was he shot?
He's on the top left.
I think you were Dallas PD, right?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm just, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Hey, bud.
They're trying to get there to you, okay?
I
Let me get to you.
I thought it was my apartment. I thought it was my apartment. Holy fuck. I thought it was my apartment. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Can I get back to you? Do you hear them? Do you see them?
No. No. I oh my god. How did I
Are you?
over here.
Okay, go ahead and talk to me.
No, it's me. I'm off duty. I thought they were in my apartment. I thought this was my floor.
All right, Ms. Rivera, that last, at the very last of the recording, was that overhearing, I guess, the conversation with the officers that made it to the apartments?
Yes.
Is that why you said you deal with the police officers? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the communication between you and Ms. Guyger came to an end?
Yes.
Okay. And just, I think it's just coincidentally, but right before you yesterday was another witness by the last name Rivera. You're not like sister or any relation with him, right?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to pass you to the defense, okay?
Hi, Ms. Rivera, Robert Rogers. I just have a few questions for you. When you get a call that comes in, then you're communicating with police and fire, are those separate places? How do you communicate with each entity?
They're both in the same call sheet. Once you call phase it, they both get sent, one to DMS and one to dispatch, police dispatch.
And as soon as you're getting the call, you're typing in information that's going to each entity, correct?
Yes.
And then you're expecting each to respond. She makes it clear she needs police and EMS, correct?
Yes.
And there were some issues. You're going to be on the phone until one of those entities gets there. Is that correct? Because you want to make sure that the loop is closed, that help is called for, and that help arrives. Correct?
Yes.
And so you're trying to gain information, and there was some, obviously there was some confusion trying to get the officers to her location. Correct?
Yes.
And so the officers were on scene, and there was some time that passed that you're getting information that the officers are on scene, and you're relaying that to Ms. Guyger. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then eventually we hear, that she says over here, and the officers arrive on scene, and then your loop is closed. You let the police and EMS take over from there, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Anything else, Judge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Be careful, Mr.